Hey guys, today I want to take a look at some of the locations where Nirvana would practice and jam throughout Aberdeen. Most of these places still exist today, even though one of them has been completely demolished. This patch of grass was the first house that Kurt had rented on his own. I'll be talking a little bit about that later on in the video. But for now, let's start off with this building over here. This pink building is the old location of Maria's hair design in Aberdeen, which was run by Krist Novoselic's mother, Maria. Krist Novoselic and Kurt Cobain both went to Aberdeen High School and became friends while attending Melvins practices. Kurt wanted to start a band with Krist, but Krist wasn't initially on board. It wasn't until a few months after Kurt Cobain and Dale Crover's 1986 Fecal Demo Matter was recorded that Krist Novoselic reciprocated and told Kurt he wanted to start a band. An empty apartment above Maria's hair design was used as their rehearsal space. Now, before I go further, I want to mention that I did speak with two of the tenants living here, and they both said they were cool with me taking a few shots of the building, so thank you to them. As mentioned in my other videos, these Nirvana locations are all public domain info, but whenever possible, I think it's still good practice to ask before filming. The location of this building is on 107 South Main Street in Aberdeen, and if you look at Google Maps, you'll see that it actually used to be green, so who knows what color it may have been when Nirvana was here. But more importantly, there is a little confusion at times about exactly which part of the building the rehearsals took place in. As mentioned, the rehearsals took place in an apartment above Maria's hair design, but which apartment? Although this is a relatively small building, there are actually two separate apartments on the first floor, 107A and 107B. The same may be true for the top floor. I asked the two tenants if they knew where in the building Nirvana rehearsed, and they both said at the back, which would suggest that they practiced in the apartment above 107B. From the looks of it, however, it appears like it's just one apartment on the entire top floor, not two, but that's not entirely clear. It could be that the entire back half of the building is 107B and the entire front half is 107A, so this particular point does require further clarification, but regardless of exactly where on the top floor of this building the rehearsals took place, what we do know definitively is that they did take place somewhere on the top floor. Now, the location for the old Maria's hair design building is just off of the main street, which runs through downtown Aberdeen. The main street in Aberdeen is Wishka Street. The old Maria's hair design building is located on South M Street, just to the right of Wishka. I should mention, by the way, that if you are planning on visiting Aberdeen, make sure to note that Wishka is a one-way street. Leaving my hotel, I almost turned the wrong way onto Wishka, straight into traffic, before thankfully remembering it's a one-way, so just keep that in mind if you are planning on visiting. As mentioned a little earlier, Krist and Kurt became friends while attending Melvins practices. Those practices predominantly took place at this house. This is Dale Crover's old house in Aberdeen. I won't be listing the address for this house in this video, but again, it's all public domain info listed in the Nirvana biographies. And speaking of biographies, it does say in some of the Nirvana biographies, as well as in the Aberdeen Museum of History website, that during one of Kurt's periods of homelessness, he slept in a cardboard box on Dale Crover's porch. Now, as you can see, there isn't really a porch here, it's just steps, so this may have been renovated since then, or it could have actually been these steps that they are referring to as a porch, or there might be a porch in the back that's not clear, but regardless, according to these bios and according to the actual Museum of History website for Aberdeen, it does say that he did sleep here, so that is definitely noteworthy. Interestingly, Dale Crover's old house is just a few minutes walking distance from the old Maria's hair design building. So, in other words, Nirvana's main practice space and the Melvins' main practice space were only a few minutes walking distance from each other. Another cool thing is that there actually is some video footage of Nirvana practicing at the Maria's hair design building back in 1988. Nirvana's lineup at the time of the recording consisting of Kurt Cobain, Krist Novoselic, and Chad Channing. Krist Novoselic's brother, Robert Novoselic, is actually the one who recorded the video, and it was released as part of the With the Lights Out box set. Four of Nirvana's other friends were also present at the practice session: Ben Latin, Steve Newman, Senad Begovic, and Ryan Egner. Ryan having been an early manager for Nirvana, who was also responsible for arranging Nirvana's debut concert in Raymond, Washington. If you'd like to see the video I made about the history of that first ever Nirvana performance, the link is available in the description box below. The songs Nirvana performed at this practice session were Love Buzz, Scoff, About a Girl, Big Long Now, Immigrant Song, which is a Zeppelin cover of course, Spank Through, Hairspray Queen, School, and Mr. Mustache. Now, as discussed earlier, one of Kurt Cobain's former houses was completely torn down. The house address was 1000.5 East 2nd Street, just a few minutes walking distance from the famous Cobain house on East 1st Street. The East 2nd Street house, which again no longer exists, was the first house that Kurt Cobain rented on his own. It was a very small house, often compared to a shack, but nevertheless still a house. Kurt lived there in parts of 1986 and 1987, and it was a place where Nirvana used to jam. As a matter of fact, the recording of Miss Butterworth, which appears on the With the Lights Out box set, was recorded at this location. Furthermore, it was also a location where the Melvins practiced, so if you guys want to be able to stand on the spot where Kurt, Krist, and Aaron Burkhardt recorded Miss Butterworth, and one of the places where the Melvins used to practice, now's your chance because as of the time of this recording, in September of 2020, there's nothing there but grass. Perhaps the city or someone else may intend on putting something there at some point, but for now, it's just grass. A quick note on Miss Butterworth, by the way. The song was actually an untitled track. Kurt Cobain did not name the song Miss Butterworth. It's believed that Nirvana's management company came up with the title Miss Butterworth before including the song on the 2004 With the Lights Out box set. One other thing I want to show you guys is that 1 minute walking distance up the street from where this house used to be is a thrift shop. If that thrift shop was around at the time Kurt was living here, I can imagine it being a place Kurt would have enjoyed visiting. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe for more. All the videos on this channel are original. I'm the one conducting all the interviews and editing all the videos together, so if you guys like what you see and you want to support, the best way to do so is honestly just to subscribe. Lots more to come.